Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's where we supposed to be at right here. We back, we back, we back, we back. Today gonna be a surprise reading, which I think is needed based off a lot of conversations, a couple consultations, and just really just the need for it. Really just the need for it. Sri Ramana Maharshi's book, Who Am I? Very small book. Very small book. Um, let's see. See if I can post it up inside of the story. Not the story, but the Discord. So what we can do with the Discord, get it on in the Discord. Let everybody know we live. Which I know everybody at work, so everybody really catch this shit on the back end. But nonetheless, try to read the whole goddamn book. Ain't number 40 pages. With explanation, this shit may be a long video. Let's see. So, put that on D&D, and we going hard. So, the teachings of Who Am I by Sri Ramana Maharshi, right? You're gonna get a little background on him. But let's make damn we ain't even live on IG yet. Boom. We should be live on IG. I think. Let me make sure though, cause you know IG be tweaking a little bit, gang. Let's make sure. Make sure though, cause you know IG be tweaking a little bit. Yeah, we good on IG. So we good on IG. I think we good on TikTok too. This nigga first time going live on TikTok, so we're gonna see what's up with TikTok. Ticket at top. I don't know. I don't know how to know if I'm live on TikTok. Can you just click on the profile and see? Alright, but it's, I don't know, bro. But yeah, we just gonna get it going from here on out. Whoever join, they join. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it is live on TikTok. Alright, so cool. We live everywhere that I know how to be live at. Put it like that. We live everywhere that I know how to be live at. Goddamn it. More than anything, we are live. We are liveness itself. Ain't that some shit? So Sri Bhagavan, they call him Bhagavan as well. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. He was one who had self realization at a very young age, like 16, 18, some shit like that. Get that motherfucker sitting right. 16, 18, or something like that. I think like after a family member died, he had the self realization just laying right there on the floor, being heartbroken after his uncle died or something like that. And that was enough to send him into that stage of that mode of self realization. Um, like it's always talked about. Some people to have realization of the self, to have knowledge of the self, is direct. And there's many ways we can go about that. Like, oh, you can't have knowledge of the self, but have knowledge of the self. To have knowledge of the self is for the person. That statement is for the person who has not realized the self. Because once you realize self, it is stated that, or it is known that, or more or less not known. Whole bunch of play on words, and that's the thing about this shit. Once you understand how to manifest reality actually is, it's hard. It's hard for you to actually catch on to use these words because now you know these words are nothing but illusions. Oh, we got the fam in here. Hold up. I can't see the live chat. Let me see. See if we can put it up a little better. We got Coop TGS in this motherfucker. Coop TGS in this motherfucker. Cosmic Puzzle Piece in this motherfucker. Mafra in this motherfucker. Sir Impeccable in this motherfucker. And he off. You know I'm here. I just oh yeah, okay, you dropped something in the Discord, okay. Send his checks out. Alright. Alright, we got the game. We got just enough as we need in this motherfucker. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. I do a chat. I don't know how to get the chat back up there no more. We might have to go without the chat on the screen today. Yeah. I think it's actually already up. I just have this in front of it. Ah! There we go. Let's get it up here. Boom. Yeah, we can make this shit work. He ain't talking about. He ain't talking about. So, Sri Bhagavan Sri Maharshi. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to run through this because obviously you know we do Sunday reads, but I just think this is a great fucking addition to what we've been reading. And as you know, after reading the Nectar of Non-Duality, we'll be going into his book by David Gottman. This will be the next one, Be As You Are. Way more thicker, more like 215 pages. Today we're going to try to run through 40 and have discussion, obviously, with those that's in the chat. So, let's see. Can I even see comments from Instagram and TikTok over here? Let's see. Nope. So, if you are on TikTok and Instagram, we are on YouTube. My Gnosis on YouTube. MYGNSOS. MIGNISOS. Or GNSOIS. The hell am I talking about? Forget my own goddamn name on YouTube. So, we can honestly just go on here the fuck in. Let me see, y'all. Give me a second. Appreciate the game for being here. I really didn't expect nobody to show up. I expected everybody to catch up on the back end. Catch up on the back end. So, introduction. Who am I? Is the title given to a set of questions and answers bearing on self-inquiry. I believe he is the one that came up with the process of self-inquiry, right? The process of self-inquiry. Hasaja, peace. From the Middle East. Oh yeah, I'm back online too. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, gang. I'm back online. I'm back on motherfucking line. So, he's the one who at least coined the term self-inquiry. He is one that says, like, listen, you don't have to go through all these ages of meditations, doing all these rituals, trying to raise your kundalini up and do all of this when you can to have self-realization, when you can just start off with the self itself. Because all of those things, remember we had Kupananda on here, and he is a practitioner of Hatha Yoga, right? And from his understandings and his personal experience, what it's all about is ultimately getting back to set you up for knowledge of self. So Sri Maharshi, or like Ashtakyava, they were more of the ones, or Sri Maharaj, they were more of the ones of the classifications of the gurus that's telling you, hey, fuck all that. Let's get direct experience of knowledge of self. Not fuck all that. If that's your mental temperament, do it. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell no one to not do it. But what I am going to tell you is how the fuck to start off directly at the source. How do you start off directly at the source? That's what they about. So let's get direct to the source. And that's what I like. Understand the principles and get direct to the source. Right? So, who am I? This is a title given to a set of questions and answers bearing on self-inquiry. The questions were put to Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi by Sri M. Shiva Pakasam Pilali. I don't know how to say that. So, about the year 1902, Sri Pilali, a graduate in philosophy, was at the time employed in the Revenue Department of South Accra Collectorate. During his visit to, it's hard to say their names, to T. Malali in 1902 on official work when he went to the cave on Unchalala Hill and met Maharashi there. He sought from, this the introduction though, y'all, just the introduction. He sought from him spiritual guidance and solicited answers to the questions related to self-inquiry, as Bhagavan was not talking then. So he went through a stage where he just didn't even fucking talk. You know, some people took an oath of silence, but they say he didn't even take an oath of silence. He just like, fuck it, I don't want to talk no more. So the way he used to give answers, he used to have to write that shit in the sand with a stick. So imagine getting all of this information that David Gogman got based on the accounts in the recordings of Sri Ramana Maharshi writing in the sand, asking people answers through the sand. In his satsang where you sit down with the guru, this nigga will actually literally just sit there and be quiet. And of course there's accounts of people who felt the presence of him and was liberated by that, or had breakthroughs just through that, right? So if you hear you on Instagram, bring your ass to YouTube. What book we reading, champ? Chief Westside 7, come to YouTube, bro. Come to YouTube, bro. You know I want you over here on YouTube, big dog. I'm gonna have to get Chief Westside 7 on the channel one day anyway, man. But yeah. See, if I click over here on Instagram and start reading me shit, it starts showing Instagram and shit. But yeah, we reading I ain't got shit to say. I'm gonna just write it down. Okay. But yeah, we read in Who Am I by Sri Ramana Maharshi. Real short book to get you to have the direct inquiry of who the fuck am I, because we talking about the capital I, the self, or we talking about the lowercase I. Generally, we always talking about the lowercase I, the ego, the mind, body, complex. So he saw from him spiritual guidance as Bhagavan was not talking then, not because of it, there you go right there, not because of any vow he had taken, but because he did not have the inclination to talk. He answered questions and put them by writing, as recollected and recorded by Sri Savra Pakramasa Palali. Sorry for butchering his name for anybody who may be of this culture. There were written 13 questions. So we finna get into, this is a book about 13 straight questions, dog. And the answers to them given by Bhagavan. This record was published by Sri Palali in 2023 in the original Tamil, along with a couple of poems composed by himself relating how Bhagavan's grace operated in his case by dispelling his doubts and by saving him from a crisis in his life. Who Am I has been published several times. Subsequently, we find 13 questions and 13 answers in some editions, and 28 in others. There is also another published version in which the questions are not given, and the teachings are rearranged in the form of an essay. The extant English translation of this essay, the present renderings of this text in the form of 28 questions and answers, along with, I can't say that name, self-inquiry, Nar, who am I, constitutes the first set of instructions in the master's own words. These are the only two precise among Bhagavan's work, and that's the one we're reading here today. You want to get the precise, not somebody else's interpretation of his interpretation of his interpretation of their interpretation. They clearly set forth the central teaching that the The direct path to liberation is self-inquiry. Obviously, you got people who would disagree with that. Obviously, you got people who want to do a whole bunch of rituals, a whole bunch of people who want to work with a whole bunch of spirits, then a whole bunch of people who want to do a whole bunch of astrology, and a whole bunch of people who want to do this, and then kundalini and rituals. It's not. See, he's not saying that that's not a path. That's obviously a fucking path. What is being said here is this is the direct path. And if you ask me, my opinion is just that. The fucking direct path. It's very direct. It's not, let's figure out this and get through this and get through this level and get through this stage. It's straight to it. The particular mode in which the inquiry is to be made in lucidity set forth in Nar, which is the name of the book, which means who am I think. The mind consists of thoughts, right? We know that. The I thought is the first to arise in the mind. You got to know the first thing that you do when you come into this motherfucker is I. What a baby say? My. Minds. Your ego activated ASAP. Ego, the mind, bundled as one. You might as well not even fucking separate them. When the inquiry, who am I, is persistently pursued, all other thoughts get destroyed. And finally, the I thought itself vanishes, leaving the supreme non-dual self alone. Straight path, right? To have self-realization, for liberation, to know thyself. All you got to do is keep inquiring this question, which they'll get more deep into detail about it. And I've noticed when I inquiry, or I literally, it's not, you don't literally have to ask the question, who is that I? Who is that I? Who is that I? This is just the only way to verbalize it so another person can get it. You may even start off doing that. But what I found out what it'll turn into is just like I always tell y'all, it's like looking down the street and seeing something kind of suspicious. You don't literally blurt out, what the fuck going on down there? Sometimes you do. But you would just be like, you know, kind of like, you know how when you see them memes of that little African baby, like, he ain't saying nothing, but you read the body language. So it's the same thing going on inside of your mind with you asking, who is this I? Right? So the I thought, the false identification of the self with the phenomena of the non-self, such as the body and mind, thus ends, and there is illumination. Shakstakara. There we go. There go my guy, Gotti. 777. Peace to the motherfucking West Side connection. We got West Side connections in it, bitch. It is. Why it don't show me like the whole? Hold up, y'all. Cause I'm seeing partially of the chat. So maybe I need to move this over and make it smaller for me. Boom. Okay, therefore, I can see the chat. Okay, y'all. Okay. So, the process of self-inquiry. Let's see. Okay. So, the process of self-inquiry, of course, is not an easy one. That's why I be telling you. It's not an easy one, but it's straightforward. It's simple, but it's not fucking easy. And you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we no pain, no gain. You know what I'm saying? No work, no twerk, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't put the work in, you don't get the results. So it's not easy, but it's direct. And of course, it's not going to be easy to realize that you are the self, you are the God of all gods and the consciousness of all consciousness. Matter of fact, God don't exist without you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing exists without you, the self. That's not fucking easy to do. We can't get to the point to where we actually realize that we are consciousness. It's hard to differentiate the difference between consciousness and the mind based on the way we was taught to think, or based on the natural way that you think inside of the matrix. That's why I keep trying to tell people it's not like you can blame your ancestors or blame your grandmother and blame your daddy and blame your culture and blame humanity and blame. No, nigga, this is just the natural way that the mind moves and thinks inside of the matrix. Because the mind is the matrix. The mind is the makeup of the matrix. It will literally be no point. Which ultimately there is no point. But for this whole play to play out, that you have to be masked under illusion. It's like an actor acting on the stage on Broadway. They have to get under the illusion. They got to get so delusional that they can play their character good enough. You know what I'm saying? They can't be sitting on stage thinking about their wife and kids at motherfucking home. It's the same thing with your mind. So your mind is doing what the fuck is naturally doing. But you are not the mind. You are the one observing the mind. So all these thoughts and these actions, yes, they're going to play out. You don't have to sit and be the fuck still. You can be a business owner. You can be a prostitute if that's what you into. You can be a vape smoker. You can be a chitlin eater. You can be what the fuck ever you gonna be around this bitch. But if you're on the path to self-inquiry and self-knowledge, or knowledge of the self and realizing the self, what you're gonna always be doing is having to question who is that I. And realize that you have to have the realization and the conviction that you are not this mind in this body. You are ultimately, who are you? You are the observer of this body and mind. Let me keep reading. Don Tree, peace, 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 peace. Let's see what I'm seeing in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, said one love, you know, we worldwide passing through. Dig that. Don Tree, my dog, what's happening? Evocation, right? Science, right? I said that. Damn, now I can't read the whole fucking chat, bro. I said, no. I said this the other day about actors. They practice a great sense of evocation. Facts, right? Facts. After Sunday, Mothra says, after Sunday reading, it seems that the matrix is within the self. That's it. Everything exists within the self, pure consciousness. Everything is a projection within consciousness. The matrix is a fucking projection. That's what I just put on my Instagram. Like, the illusion is an illusion. You get what I'm saying? It's not really an illusion. It's just an illusion that's an illusion. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the paradox of this shit. Let's see. Well, they have to learn how to evocate one energy with one way or another. For example, making themselves cry. Facts. Hasaji said her man won't let her buy a vape smoker. Well, that nigga's probably a good nigga. You should probably listen to him. It's not the best thing in the world, but it ain't the worst. I could be smoking fentanyl. Let me not even say that word on YouTube. I could be smoking fent. If you on IG, bring your ass on over the goddamn YT. If you on TikTok, we popping shit. Don't. Oh my God, hold up. Cause I'm supposed to be on TikTok right now, but I don't know how. Let me see. Can I check, y'all? Hold up. So, okay. Well, first time going. Okay, hold up. 14 views. Okay. Well, you know, hey, we'll pop it off. We'll get better. So we're over here. We standing on cosmic P. The cosmic principle is the self. Know thyself. Sunshine, motherfucking shit. What's happening, gang? Yes, sir. The gang is showing up. I didn't expect nobody to be here at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's continue. The process of the inquiry, of course, is not an easy one. As one inquires, who am I, other thoughts will arise. So you need to understand that. Thoughts is going to arise. The mind is actually going to fight you. It's going to keep throwing curveballs at your ass. What does that mean? When you do it, you will fucking see. You know, the same shit that happens in meditation. Because the self-inquiry, here it is. Understand this. This self-inquiry process is a meditation. It's a meditation. It's a waking meditation. You can do it with your eyes closed. So for those, if you don't want to sit down, if you don't have the discipline to sit down, close your eyes, try this one. It's still going to take some discipline. Still going to take some effort. So you ain't getting away from that shit. That's why I say free will ain't really free. Because goddamn it, if it was free, what the fuck you need will for? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you need to use your will? Why do you need to use strength and effort? Every action takes will. To lift up this arm takes will. To blink the eyes, it takes will. to take a step, take a shit, take a piss, and take a hit of this vape takes will. Alright? But as these thoughts arise, one should not yield to them by following them. On the contrary, one should ask, to whom do they arise? Who do these thoughts arise to? Think about that. Who do your thoughts fucking arise to? Who are they arising to? So, he just gave it to you. One should not yield to them by following them. What does that mean? Do not create a counter thought off of that thought. You start thinking about a bottle of water. Don't think about, ooh, it'll be. So when that bottle of water thought, here's your, my face is the mind. The thought passed about, ooh, a bottle of water. Ooh, that shit'd be so good, man. I remember tasting the Sunny water. The Sunny water was nasty. Ooh, I don't like plastic bottle water. I need glass water. I don't want, see, because they got microplastics in the water, and then the water be actually what's killing us, giving us cancer, then give us cancer. See, that's why I be trying to tell my people, cancer be trying to kill us and don't be killing us. And then we need to stop drinking this type of water, because that type of water, do not follow those thoughts. Don't follow those thoughts. Don't follow those thoughts. That's the fucking trick. Fact, cyclomancy do that. Which I'm one of them niggas who didn't finish cyclomancy. I practiced some of the exercises out of that, and I'll admit I'm one of them niggas who did not finish fucking cyclomancy. So, one should not yield to them. On the contrary, one should ask, to whom do these thoughts arise? Chris Dixon, god damn, everybody showing up today. Everybody at work, goddamn. Okay, what's happening, gang? We in this bitch, standing on P. That's what I'm talking about, man. You never know. This was random. I really didn't expect nobody to show up. So to whom do these thoughts arise? In order to do this, one has to be extremely vigilant. Just like if you sitting doing a regular meditation. No difference. You got to be vigilant. You got to be vigilant. Through constant inquiry, one should make the mind stay in its source. I'm speaking to you from an experience of doing this self-inquiry. I have noticed that my thoughts will just start to drop. When I'm really vigilant at it, my thoughts just start to fucking drop. They keep coming, but they just start to drop. And I don't feed onto them. This is my personal experience. This is why I'm giving it to you, because I've had this personal experience. Y'all already know about my first experience. I done told that motherfucker a million goddamn times, which I feel like kind of sort of it makes it easy for my mental temperament to be able to get it. But if you have not had a fucking experience, who gives a fuck about these experiences? Because they're just that, they fucking experiences. You all gonna have them, and we all will. Quit trying to search and goddamn run amok trying to have all the most profound spiritual experiences. To realize what? I used to chase experiences, no more. Try to have that experience of blissness or whatever the fuck I have experienced or with this deity or this god or this demon. For what? Listen here. As a person who dealt with the occult, every spirit energy I have ever worked with has always been, once I zoom out, has always been pushing me back to this here. Knowing the self. So why not start with the self? Why not start there? Instead of working your way, it's like you can go straight across the grass to get to your neighbor's house, or you can go down the street, take the highway, get off the highway, get on the toll road. Get on the highway, get on the toll road, circle all the way back around, get off the toll road, pay the toll, come all the way back around, drive past your house, and pull up in front of your neighbor's house. And then, instead of going to the front door, you decide to hop over the gate, come around the other back side of the gate, and then come back to the front door. Like, nigga. That's how I see it. For me. Through consistent inquiry, one should make the mind stay in its source, without allowing it to wander away and get lost in the mazes of thought created by itself. Remember, the mind is nothing but thoughts. Get out your thoughts. Get out your thoughts. You got to realize emanations of the character you emanate as a trait. Yeah. Been realizing I've been overcomplicating this shit. It's all beyond. That's it, bro. That's it, Coop T. Jess. It's all beyond the mind. The mind is not gonna get it. Like what Papa G say. If I tell you that the mind, you be like, hey, I don't get this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm telling you that the mind doesn't exist. But everything that you could possibly ever know, everything you have ever experienced, all the way down to the very most minuscule thing, is done by the mind. And I'm telling you the mind can't get it. And I'm telling you the mind doesn't exist. What is there to get? That's the trick of this shit. It's like, okay, so what am I doing? You're not doing nothing. The mind body is doing, but you ain't doing shit. You, the pure consciousness, awareness, the self, you're not doing a goddamn thing. It's beyond the mind. It's beyond the mind. Let's get to it. All other disciplines such as breath control and meditation on forms of God should be regarded as auxiliary practices. What does auxiliary mean? Because I'm one of them niggas who want to make sure. Auxiliary means providing supplementary or additional help and support. So, this is his point of view, which I can see why. All other disciplines and meditations on forms of God should be regarded as, then what we just said was extra help practices. They are useful so far as they help the mind to become quiescent, and one-pointed. Darshan, right? They help. For the mind that has gained skill in concentration, self-inquiry becomes comparatively easy. I don't know how skilled I am with concentration, but I must have a little bit up in there. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm the nigga who had the most. That'll be a goddamn lie. It is by ceaseless inquiry that the thoughts are destroyed and the self realized. The plenary reality in which there is not even the I thought. So it gets to a point where the I thought don't even exist. The experience which is referred to silence. That's why I say people come to him and he literally wouldn't do no speaking, no teaching, no preaching. He just sit there. He just sit there in silence. This, in substance, is Bhagavan, Sri Ramana Maharshi's teaching in Naryar, which means, who am I? That's Sri Bhagavan Maharshi at age 21. So he left the crib at like 16. He had the experience. Dipped the fuck on out. Yeah, right, Don Tree. Let's see. Sir Impeccable said, I keep telling y'all, ask them thoughts where they come from. They stop. Well, the realization I had. That's it. Who do these thoughts arise to? Who is scared? Who is in fear? Who is in doubt? Who is this I that is in doubt? Who is this I? To who do these thoughts arise? They arise to the pure consciousness. They arise from the mind. They arise in the mind, from the mind, to you, the pure self, pure consciousness, pure awareness, the self. It is. So, that's him as a YN. There's Bhagavan as a YN. Bhagavan a YN. Hey, that shit real shit. That's how it is, Don Tree. You start laughing, bro. Like, this shit really be funny, bro. This shit, man, bro. Y'all get it. This shit really be funny. That's why I used to say years ago, I used to be like, bro, like, this shit is a fucking cosmic joke. You are the most divine thing ever which is actually no thing. But let's just use this for an example. You are the most divine thing ever. And you tricked yourself to thinking that you're not. So you come down here to pay bills and to get your credit score together. You know what I'm saying? And bicker and argue that black men and black women, or men and women, don't do this and they do that, and Donald Trump this, and you know what I'm saying? Racism this and racism that, and the HOA rules, and I need to get enough money to buy a house and a home, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you make that your whole life. You are the most incomprehensible type of divinity, and you trick yourself into motherfucking thinking that you need to go to school and get an education, that you can't, that water is this and this bad food is that, and nigga, you done convince yourself of so much shit out of pure ignorance, out of super attaching yourself to the body and mind complex. But think about it, that's the only way to be an actor. You have to really trick yourself and innovate or evocate, like my nigga Gotti 777 said. You have to really evocate a whole personality. You have to evocate a whole storyline, my nigga. Think about that shit. That's the purpose of this shit. Laugh in this shit. Have fun in this shit. But always be in awareness. But have fun in this shit. You not fucking suffering, man. You not. The real you is not fucking suffering, bro. The illusion is an illusion. There is no illusion. Let's get to it, y'all. Who am I? All living beings desire to be happy. Always. Without any misery. In everyone there is observed supreme love for one's self. And happiness alone is the cause of love. And in order, therefore, to gain that happiness, which is one's nature, and which is experienced in that state of deep sleep. Remember how we went into the understanding of deep sleep. Deep sleep is the same place the people who do deep meditation try to get to. So like what's the book Trav gave us, the Runner Darshan, which try to give you a one-pointed focus to meditate on. But ultimately, they're working you up to get to a point where you drop that image that you've been meditating on. Then ultimately, that image is not there. It's just nothingness. And that's the same thing you do in deep sleep. See what I'm saying? How this is a direct path? And that's going to take motherfuckers 70 years, 50 years, 40 years. For some people, 30 goddamn minutes on the first try. Very little in number, but nonetheless. And this, I'm not saying this is going to be, oh, you're going to get this shit in 3 months, you got it. You're going to get this shit in 2 years, you got it. Man, nigga, this ain't fucking trading options. Hint, hint. This ain't trading options. You know what I'm saying? But, like, it's still a progress. But nonetheless, you go, instead of picking up all of these concepts, straight to the self. The direct path. That's what I love. In order, therefore, to gain that happiness, in order, therefore, to gain that happiness, which is one's nature, which means if the goddamn source of happiness is love, and the source of love is happiness, your nature is love, my nigga. Your nature is motherfucking love. In which is experiencing that state of deep sleep, where there is no mind. The mind dissipates in deep sleep. That's why you're not having dreams. That's why it's nothing to remember other than that you have nothing to remember. Paradoxical, right? But you know that's your direct experience. We don't have to jump around with concepts. We just get straight to the point with your direct experience. Where there is no mind, one should know one's self. To achieve this, the path of knowledge, this is what they call the path of knowledge, a Jnani. Remember what we read with Swami Vivekananda. That was me bringing the introduction, at least to the people that follow me on YouTube or follow this YouTube channel. That was our introduction into the Gyani, or knowledge, which means the same as Gnosis, a knowing. Not just a knowing of anything, though. Gnosis just don't mean to know that goddamn Epista Sophia had Yalabroth, and Yalabroth is the motherfucking created the architects and the goddamn, what we call them motherfuckers? The evil archons. And that's just a story. Just like the Egyptian shit is just a fucking story of concepts that the mind can latch on to. Why? Because it's hard for people to understand that you're pure consciousness. You can't tell people they're not the mind and all they know is their mind and their body. Who the fuck is gonna hear that shit and understand that shit? You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, give them a story, goddammit. Shit. That's the only way I mean, all this shit. I don't know what the fuck else to get these niggas don't know nothing but beer, good wine, good pussy, and gold. Speaking about African niggas, my ancestors had all the gold. These niggas walking around butt naked picking mangoes off the tree. They don't know shit else but goddamn chill. But the mind and the body. See what I'm saying? So we try to go back like ancient Egypt was just like the most superior. But you have to understand there's a commonality amongst all of this. Ancient Egyptians to Indians to Greeks to Romans. The fucking cavemen. What's the commonality? There was a body and there was a fucking mind. There's a body and a fucking mind. So what the body and mind naturally do, based upon climate, based upon geographical location, based upon culture, it's gonna be a little bit different. There are different minds, but there is no difference in consciousness. To achieve this path of knowledge, the inquiry in the form of who am I is the practical means. Alright, here's the first question, y'all. Let me read some of y'all comments before I go. What was it? This is definitely not trading options. I'm learning this shit right now, bro. You know what I'm learning. Oh, Sir Impeccable. People ask me, do I have dreams? I tell them, no, just nothingness. Just bliss. The best sleep ever. Goddamn, boy. You learn how to master the state getting inside of the deep sleep at will. You's a motherfucker. You are really impeccable, my nickel. Should I pick up God says, should I pick up easier on consciousness than trading options? No lie. Facts. Facts, bro. Because there's so many concepts and shit to remember, bro. It really is. But I'm liking this shit, though. I'm liking this shit, though, bro. I'm liking this shit. But no, I'm 100% in agreement with you. They thinking I'm crazy. I tell them I've been lost. I've been lost my mind. Don't you say, honestly, it makes sense why we forget. If you knew from the jump, the shit wouldn't be fun, in my opinion. Facts! That's all I'm saying, Don Tree. I'm in alignment with you on that, bro. How fucking boring would it be if you knew every fucking thing, bro? That's why I used to say, like, back when I was studying Tree of Life, I was like, damn. Yeah, get up to heaven, that should be the boringest shit ever. You know what I'm talking about? Getting up there to that one sitting point of so-called God. Ain't shit going on. All the happening is happening on Malkuth, a.k.a. the physical reality. The whatever dimensions. That's where all the happening is happening at. Ain't shit else happening nowhere, bruh. And then at that, you under the illusion that anything is fucking happening. This is the biggest cosmic joke. This is the biggest cosmic joke. That's why we standing on the P that holds the cosmos up. We standing on the principle here. We are cosmic P pushers. We pushing for self-realization. We standing on the self, which is the P, which is pure, unconditioned consciousness. Ultimately, nothingness. Hey. Martha says, like, runs on the ladder. Come on. Cosmic Puzzle says, this is showing that I get caught up in the elemental forces I call the debater. All it wants to do is take information only to argue facts. I mean, they're really what it wants to. It wants to keep its existence going because that's what the mind is made of, right? The five elements. The mind is made of the five components of the mind. The mind is made of the five components of the elements. I mean, and it's trying to keep its existence going, but don't trip on it. Like he said in the beginning, don't take ownership of those thoughts or whatever they said. Don't take ownership of those thoughts. They eventually will start to settle and merge back into its source, which is consciousness itself. Because the thoughts and the mind is doing what it's naturally meant to do. And I'm like, you ain't gonna stop that shit. You ain't gonna stop that shit. It's happening, man. Let's see. Don Tree said, enjoy the journey within. Come on, y'all. Even in heaven, this matter-based realm, even the mind can't move past this realm. Because what is heaven? Nothing but another concept. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. Oh, it exists inside of the mind. Inside of the realm of the body-mind complex, it exists. So there will be a heaven for your mind to go to. There will be an astral plane for your mind to go to. For that mind to go through. That mind to go through. Because you are not the body, nor you the mind. And you get this chance here. This, like, what's the name said? I think I posted on my story a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. And I read the same shit in Kenneth Grant book. I was talking to Etheric about this. When we read the Kenneth Grant book, I did not know anything about non-duality. This was probably 6-7 months ago, 8 months ago. And I was reading the chapter on the negative reality or negative existence or nothingness. I forgot chapter 5 in the something of Eden book. The night side of Eden. We read that. And he was hinting at all this Advaita Vedanta shit. He was saying they got this shit down packed. But over here in the West, the occultists in the West, in the UK in the West, they can't get the shit. They can't get the shit. He's saying like the West already got it figured out. It's the negative path. Nady. I am not this, I am not that. Where was I going with this? No, he was talking about the age that what's her name spoke on. Aleister Crowley spoke on. But he said it was the age of silence that Aleister Crowley spoke on, where Heru or what's the entity that he got in touch with? Whatever the entity that Aleister Crowley got in touch with. God damn it, I used to know this shit like the back of my goddamn hand. The only entity he really got in touch with. But it was another reincarnation or what's the name of Heru. And this is supposed to be the age of silence. The age of no words. Because you see, the occult mind got to working. What's no words? No mind. Mind the word. AWAS. That's it. Appreciate it. AWAS. It's the age of no words. Age of no mind. To have words, you have to have a mind. Age of no words. And when you read and you understand this, that the mind creates words, the words create the matrix, which is what they call it spells, nigga. What we are understanding here is what? Check this out. What we are understanding here is that no matter what words we give you to describe pure consciousness and pure awareness in the self, none of them equally describe it. Ultimately, all of them are false. Ultimately, all of them are false. But we still use the words to try to point a person into a direction. What did I tell you? Sri Bhagavan used to just sit his ass down and say nothing. Hundreds of people come to see this man and he don't do shit but sit there. And people getting realization just off of that. Alright. Number one, who am I? The gross body, which is composed of 7 humors, or dotas. I am not, listen, I am not the 5 cognitive sense organs. The senses, hearing, the senses of hearing, the senses of touch, the senses of sight, the senses of taste, and the senses of smell. Those are the 5 elements as well, right? Which appeared, which apprehend their respective objects. Which apprehend, those senses apprehend their respective objects. Sound, touch, color, taste, and odor. Right? All of these in alignment. I think we all know this. How the 5 senses and the five senses and the 5 sense organs all correlate with each other. They're the same goddamn thing. Sound, touch, color. So that's the ears, that's the skin, the touch, that's the color to see, that's the eyes, that's the tongue, taste, and it's the nose to smell. I am not the 5 cognitive sense organs. What's that? The organs of speech, locomotion, grasping, excretion, and procreation, which have as their respective functions speaking, moving, grasping, excreting, and enjoying. I am not the 5 vital airs. I am not prana. I'm not the breath, etc., which perform respectively the 5 functions of in-breathing, and etc. I am not even the mind which thinks. I am not the new, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know this word, y'all. Well, you can't find it. Hold up. Oh, is a noun meaning lack of knowledge and ignorance. Lack of knowledge and ignorance. Can you pronounce it for me? Nescience? Nescience? Fuck it. But I am not the ignorance also. Or I'm not this lack of knowledge and ignorance, absence of knowledge. Okay. So I am not this absence of knowledge. So, what is that saying? Hold up. You are not ignorant. You are not absence of knowledge. So you thinking that you may think that you don't know or don't. You not. You do get this because you are this. There's nothing to get because you are this shit. I be laughing at myself too. Because you are this. Nescience. Oh, nescience. I appreciate you, Don Tree. I am not this nescience also. Damn, I'm missing a lot of y'all comments, but I don't want to have this all day, y'all. I am not this lack of absence of knowledge also, which is endowed only with the residual impressions of objects, and in which they are no objects and no functionings. I am not. I'm not none of that. Let's go. Number 2. If I am none of these, then who am I? If I am none of these senses, organs, ignorance, I'm not the mind and I'm not this, who the fuck am I? Because that's all, as a human being, that's all I know. After negating, remember, nati, not this, that's what we just went through. We just went through in one paragraph of nati, right there. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Let's see. After negating all of the above as mentioned as not this, that awareness which alone remains, that I am. Because think about it, there has to be something, for lack of better words to use, that is identifying all of those things that we just said we're not. There has to be. The knower and the known cannot be the same. I know this water bottle. The water bottle is not knowing me. So the knower and the thing that is known cannot be the same. Let's read it again. After negating all of the above mentioned as not this and not this, That awareness which alone remains, that I am. If you're on Instagram, bring your ass over to to where we at? YT, come to YouTube. My Gnosis. Alright? 3. What is the nature of go Siri. That shit. Got to chill, Siri. Got to chill, Siri. Let's see. Got to chill, Siri. Okay. We moving on up to the way. Shout out to my TikTokers. But we aren't. What? This like. Oh, TikTok stopped me because I'm smoking tobacco. Well, ain't that some shit? Oh, it's still going, but so damn, I got 150 likes on TikTok. Oh, I can't get that many likes on goddamn YouTube. But okay, so they said it's restricted for some users. So you can't smoke vapes on TikTok. So what is the nature? What is this nature of awareness? The nature of awareness is existence, consciousness, bliss. So what is your nature? You are existence itself. My nigga. You are existence itself. There is no existence outside of you. There is no God or gods that can exist outside of you, the self, pure consciousness. There is no demon that can exist outside of you, the self, consciousness. There is no love that can exist outside of you. So don't that make sense that you need to love yourself first? On that body-mind complex level of thinking. There is no love outside of you yourself. There is no God. There is no matrix. There is no Maya. There is no illusion that it can exist outside of you. You are existence. That is your nature. What else is your existence? Awareness is your nature. Your nature is pure awareness. You know this because we just ran through all 5 of the senses, all 5 organs, all 5 functions. We ran through the body, the mind. Who is that who is aware of all of that shit? And what is it? Bliss. Just like we speak. You always got to be in bliss because you're not fucking suffering. You're not going through happy emotions, mad emotions, sad emotions. Pure awareness is the one who's aware of happy emotions, sad emotions, suffering, so-called death of the body. You're always in bliss. This is straightforward path. 4. When will the realization of the self be gained? Here we go. Very simple. When the world, which is what is seen, has been removed, there will be realization of the self, which is the seer. When will the realization of the self be gained? When the world, which is what is seen, has been removed, there will be realization of the self, which is the seer. Will there be realization of the self even while the world is there, taken as real? There will not be. See, you're finna get into it. I'm pretty sure you're finna get into it. Because obviously, hands, beard, cheeks, water. But when you have self-realization, you won't be looking from the perspective of the mind. You'll be looking and see as everything is consciousness. Everything is existence, consciousness, existence, awareness, bliss. So you got to understand what level is he talking from. Do you think you'll just see a whole bunch of green matrix numbers running? No. He's not giving you the answer from the perspective of the body-mind complex. On a body-mind complex, yes, the world will still be here. On a conscious perspective, no, the world is not even here. It don't even fucking exist. There will not be. 6. Why? The seer and the object seen are like the rope and the snake. Remember we ran through the rope and the snake? At first you thought it was a snake because it was like kind of dark. And you seen a rope coiled up. You thought it was a snake. You got all scared. But when you can fully illuminate the room and see it's not a snake, the snake never existed. Like that, this reality never fucking existed. Damn, I'm missing some comments. Self-love is loving God. The self, not the ego. Facts, cool TGS. Cosmic Puzzle Piece says, my phrase for life. Existence is my motherfucking child. Dig that. So, the seer and the object seen are like the rope and the snake. Just as the knowledge of the rope, which is the substratum, will not arise unless the false knowledge of the illusionary serpent goes. Listen to that again. The seer and the object seen are like the rope and the snake. Just as the knowledge of the rope, just as you know the rope, which is the substratum. So if there was no rope there could be no appearance of a snake. You get what I'm saying? So if there was no conscious existence bliss there would be no appearance of reality. There will be no appearance of the world. Just as the knowledge of the rope, which is the substratum, will not arise unless the false knowledge of the illusionary serpent goes. So you're not going to know that consciousness is the substratum of existence until the true knowledge arises and the false knowledge of the serpent goes away. You have to know that consciousness is pure existence itself. Then the illusion fades the fuck away. So the realization of the self, which is the substratum, would not be gained unless that the belief that the world is real is removed. When will the world, which is the object seen, be removed? When the mind, which is the cause of all cognitions and of all actions, becomes quiescent, the world will disappear. You motherfucker, you the creator of this goddamn reality that you say you suffering in. You the dog, motherfucker. You the dog. You the dog, motherfucker. You the dog. Oh, shit. Checking out TikTok, see what is happening over there. So, when will the world, which is the object seen, be removed? When the mind, which is the cause of all cognitions, of all action, becomes quiescent, the world will disappear. The world will go bye-bye in the manner that you see. Right? So, question 8. What is the nature of the mind? Let's get into it. The mind is called, what is called mind is a wondrous power residing in the self. It is the most powerful. It's the most powerful. It's the one doing all of this. Which, remember what we said, Arjuna, that he who knows the self, he who has had self-realization, know that he, the self, is not the doer of actions. All actions are due by prakriti. Nature, that's another name for nature in Sanskrit or in Hindi. Nature is the doer. And the mind is doing all of this. Your mind is nature. Mind is not above matter. Mind is matter itself. It's a subtle matter, but nonetheless, it is matter, my nigga. What is called mind is wondrous power residing in itself. It causes all thoughts to arise. Apart from the thoughts, there is no such thing as mind. Are you hearing this? There is no such thing as the mind if there is no thoughts. The mind is like a fucking vapor. Yeah. The mind is like a fucking vapor. It's just a bundle of fucking air particles. Or molecules or particles, maybe. Woo! I've been forgetting to use this, y'all. Hey. You get this shit? Is y'all getting this shit? Y'all liking this shit? Y'all loving this shit? Let me know. Let me know, y'all. Let me know. We got about 20-something more pages to go. And as you can see, it's still real short. So let me see something in the chat. Y'all ready? Y'all liking this shit?
Baphomet. Baphomet. All that bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul.
Let me know. Is y'all standing on P? Stand on P or get the fuck down. How's y'all feeling? How this shit sounding? What y'all think? If you're a TikToker, you can say something in the chat. We new. If you new here on TikTok, hope you start following my page and get and get more of this. I'm formerly always on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube as well right now. YouTube is where you will actually find me the most. I'm not really good at the TikTok thing because the things I like to talk about need more explanation than just a short video on TikTok. And I'm not about to be uploading part 13, part 45, part 60. Hell no. We do long form content because this is not just no quick fix. Okay, everybody, give it a hand clap. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. All right. I like it. I love it. Need some more of it. That's why mind is associated with the elemental air. Let's see. And we'll actually come to find out that also, the mind is a conglomerate of all of them motherfuckers. Excuse me, y'all. Let's see what I got here. Because ultimately, all this shit, I'm trying to find my what's the name. Fuck it, man. I don't even feel like taking this shit off the wall. But yeah, ultimately it is. In the occult, it is associated with air. Definitely is. A lot of esotericism, it is. But also, it's also a conglomerate of all those 5 elements. Because Akasha first, right? Akasha. Where's the Akashic records at? You know what I'm saying? Because all the rest of the elements come out of Akasha. My people. Okay. Everybody saying SOP. We in this bitch. Did that. Alright. Alright, y'all. So let's get back to it. What is called mind is a wondrous power residing in the self. It causes all thoughts to arise. Apart from the thought, there is no such thing as the mind. Therefore, thought is the nature of the mind. No mind. No mind. Apart from thoughts, there is no independent entity called the world. Do you hear that? Apart from thoughts, there is no independent entity called the world. Called reality, 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, people under the earth who living, motherfuckers living on Andromeda and Sirius. None of that shit exists outside of the mind. Those are all concepts constructed by the mind. This is what I'm trying to get people, because I've had the realization and understanding of it. This is what I'm trying to help other folks understand. This really pushes you, if there was a next level, this really pushes you to a next fucking level of understanding. Apart from thought, there is no independent entity called the world. If you went blank mind, no, matter of fact, this is how you know. Check this out. When you go into deep sleep, you have no recognition of your body. You have no recognition of your senses. When you go into deep sleep, you have no recognitions of your likes and dislikes. You have no recognition of food. You have no recognition of a God. You have no recognition of a thought. You have no recognition of your bills, your money. You have no recognition of none of that. It don't exist because the mind is not existing inside of deep thought. Inside of deep sleep. So what universe exists outside of your fucking mind? What dimension exists outside of your mind? Your mind has literally created that shit. You don't have a thought of your own body, so you don't have a thought of anyone else. Another so-called separate human being. It don't exist in deep sleep. Sit with that. Oh, here you go right here. In deep sleep, there are no thoughts. There is no world. In the states of waking and dream, there are thoughts, and there is a world also. Just as the spider emits a thread of web outside of itself and again withdraws it into itself. Likewise, the mind projects the world out of itself and again resolves it into itself. Come on, y'all. I ain't making this shit up. This shit just make complete, utter sense. Nigga ain't making this shit up, gang. Nigga ain't making this shit up. Nigga's not making this shit up. This is pure direct knowledge of the self. You want to understand how to break out the matrix? Here we fucking go. It ain't easy, but it's motherfucking simple. Hey, Cosmic Puzzle Piece. Is energy real? In the concept of the mind, yes. That's it. We gotta have something for the mind to explain how we can move and how we can do this. In the mind, yes. In the mind, yes. So in the universal mind, yes. Yes. In consciousness, goddamn. In consciousness, goddamn. Mothra says, damn, nothing exists outside the mind. Like I don't even know what to do with it. No point in even thinking anymore. And that's really what it's pointing towards. That's what we were saying. Like, if I tell you there's no mind, and your mind is not going to get this, of course you're going to say, I don't understand. There's nothing to understand. That's the fucking, brother, paradox and the joke of this shit. There's nothing to understand. So when we, I understand, brother. But see, my understand of the law of polarity, brother, I understand. I overstand. You're still dealing with the mind. There's nothing to understand. And I have to correct my language to get in alignment. And then again, what is fucking language? Language is fucking false too. That's an illusion too. So if I start trying to say the right shit, that shit don't mean shit neither. Look at that shit, man. Think about that shit, man. Let's go, y'all. When the mind comes out of the self, the world appears. Therefore, when the world appears to be real, the self does not appear. So when the snake that appears, when the rope that's appearing as a snake, and you see a snake and not a rope, the rope does not appear. So when you see the world as real, pure self, the self, you can't know the self. You're not knowing the self. So if we were talking about knowing thyself, knowing my ancestors, knowing my heritage, and knowing what they stole from us and took from us, you know that person don't have knowledge of self if that's what they're literally standing on. I'm not saying any of that shit is evil or wrong. I'm not saying you don't need to you can't recognize that shit. Of course. But if that's a person whole standing, a whole identity, you know they don't have knowledge of the self. Remember that. Anytime you hear shit like that, you should know that that's not the self. That's a lowercase self. The mind-body complex. They're talking about mentally what we've been through, our remembrance of our history, the past, thoughts, the body, the skin complexion. The self does not appear. And when the self appears, shine with my boy Don Tree. Ever shining, eternally shining. And when the self appears and shines, the world does not appear. When one persistently inquires into the nature of the mind will end, leaving the self at residue. What is referred to as the self is the Atman. That's what they call it, the Atman. Remember I connected this in the Dark Veil video, the Atum of Egypt. Atum. Atum and Atmun. Same as the Atman. And I think it's a Hindu word called Amun, Amun or Amun. And that means no mind. And that's the same name for the Egyptian deity. The self-created deity in Egypt of the Ogdad pantheon. Remember, that's how I started connecting, because we didn't heard before, especially from Bible, these motherfuckers in India actually came from Kemet during a certain time. I don't care to debate that shit at all. All I care is about the information. But that's how I started connecting. Like, hold up, they saying the same shit. And I ain't heard nobody in Egyptology talk about this type of shit. And connect it to consciousness. Connect consciousness to chaos. And look at the very similar ways of the words. In Egypt, because that's what we all love to claim, the mind always exists only in dependence of something gross. So when we say gross, we mean matter, material, right? And we have dense matter, dense grossness, and subtle grossness, which the mind and all of the all of that is subtle grossness. The senses and all of that shit, that's subtle grossness. But nonetheless, it's the gross. The mind always exists only in dependence on something gross. It cannot stay alone. It can't. It needs thoughts. It needs images. Why do you think we have to have images of gods, man? The mind cannot stand alone. That's why there are gods and goddesses and sigils. The mind can't get it. It is the mind that is called the subtle body or the soul, the jiva, which I told you go into different sectors or different spiritual systems. One to say the spirit is the everlasting, one to say the soul is the everlasting. I just stick with saying the soul. You know what I'm saying? So when you see it over here, I'm like, hold up, Joe. No way said that. That ain't right, because the soul, like you said, it's the subtle body, and the subtle body ain't it. Okay, hey, man. I can't get it caught up in the terminology. I'm just sticking to the terminology that I know. The soul and as far as I'm concerned, the soul and consciousness are one. If you want to say the spirit instead of saying the soul, because you are under the faction that the soul is the one that is everlasting and untouched and unscathed, perfectly fine. I just want to give that clarification when you hear me in the future on past videos say the soul. It's the same thing as consciousness to me, and the same thing as chaos. But those are just words. Remember that. It is the mind that is called the subtle body or the soul. So the mind is the subtle body. So your etheric body, your astral body, and whatever other body, it's nothing but the mind. So what does that say? If there are astral planes, it's nothing but the mind. Nothing. My niggas. What is the path of inquiry for understanding the nature of the mind? That which rises as I in the body is the mind. Hold up.
Satan!
Alright, y'all. I don't know if y'all have ever tried freeze-dried strawberries, but they're not the best. But niggas spent damn near $7 for these little pack, and they gonna finish them. So, I love you motherfuckers. Y'all don't even know. Y'all really don't be knowing, bro. Like a nigga love y'all, bro. You know what I tell you. What's better than a motherfucker on a journey for self-knowledge, bro? What the fuck is better than a motherfucker on a journey for self-knowledge? I love you motherfuckers, man. Because you motherfuckers ain't nothing but me, dressed up in other shapes, sizes, and forms and functions with different names. You think you slick. You think I don't know you me. Yeah, you motherfuckers ain't slick, motherfucker. Motherfucker, I see you. Come out. Alright. So what is the path of inquiry for understanding the nature of the mind? That which arises as I in the body is the mind. If one inquires as to where in the body the thought of I rises first, if one inquires to where in the body the thought I rises first, one will discover that it arises in the heart. Now, my bad. I don't know how to turn it down. Yeah, I do. Hold up. Let's do that right now while I got people actually on here to help me with that. Hold up. Is that better? How that sound? Is that better? Damn, everybody talking about their ears getting fucked up with the air horn. My bad. How that one sound? Real shit. I need y'all to hit me out with that so I can make sure I don't be killing y'all eardrums with that shit. Now remember, you not the body of the mind. Is that lower though? Is that more respectable? You are not your eardrums. Don't worry. Hey man, somebody let me know, how did that one sound? I turned it down. I want to make sure. Y'all gotta let me know how this shit sound. I'm gonna keep blowing y'all eardrums out. Y'all don't tell me if that's too loud or not. Turn down one more notch. Alright. I got you. Okay. That one right there should be better. I turned it down to 50. You say we good. Okay. I turned it down, y'all. I turned it down. My bad. If y'all think that shit loud, y'all should see how I listen to the goddamn TV. Well, my whole life, my mom be like, "God damn, boys, you deaf?" All right, we good, then. All right, we good. Let's continue, y'all. So, that which arises as I in the body is the mind. If one inquires in where the body, the thought I arises first, one should discover that it arises in the heart. Remember what we talked about? The whole Kundalini yoga is about bringing all the Shakti all the way up to the crown and bringing it back to the heart. Why not start with the heart? Asadi says put it on 45. Okay. Alright, man. God damn. Y'all spoiling it, man. Y'all spoiling the loudness. I'll turn it down to 45. Alright. Turn the applaud down as well. I did it just to love you. It's done. Okay, it's done. Okay. One should discover that the thought of I arises first in the heart. This is the place of the mind's origin. Listen to that, y'all. The heart. Why was Jesus pointing at the heart? The heart is the gateway chakra. You have to go through. It's a gate. It's a gate. The heart is a gateway chakra. It is a gate. It is the mind. You do not abide there. You don't sit there. You don't stay there. Remember when I posted that video of Bobby Hemmett? Say you're going to get to the heart chakra. And you're going to, once you get to the heart chakra, there'll be a little goddess, Lakshmi or whatnot, or Mayat sitting there. You don't stay there. It's the crossroads, right? You don't stay there. It's a gateway. You pass through it. So you don't stay in the heart. You pass through that motherfucker. It's a gateway. That is the place. That is the origin. That is the origin of the mind. That is the mind's origin. Even if one thinks constantly, I, one will be led to that place. Do you hear it? Even if one thinks constantly of I, you will be led to that place eventually. Of all the thought that arises in the mind, the I thought is the first. Is that personal pronouns when you say I, me, and mines? I'm not that good at English, so somebody can help me out with that shit. Is that a personal pronoun? I, me, and mines? I'm not sure. Somebody can help me out with that shit. But that's the first thing that pops up is the I. It is only after the rise of that the other thoughts arise. That's why I say, people like, how is it non-dual? Motherfucker, the first thing you can't even say anything. You can't experience anything. You can't explain anything without first making reference to me, myself, or I. Or something of those derivatives. A derivative of something of those. Me, myself, and I. It starts with one. Even on the mind-body complex level. It starts with one and then it becomes multiple. This is what I'm saying. This is the direct path. This is your everyday experience, y'all. It's not after you've done a ritual and after you learn a ton of shit. This is your everyday experience to get right to the self. It is after the appearance of the first here go the answer right here. If I would have just kept reading, it is after the appearance of the first personal pronoun that the second, bro, he's saying the shit. This is my first time reading the shit. You know, so you know I ain't lying. I ain't even got this far. We still there in my book. I ain't even got to this part yet. It's the same shit. I came to this understanding just sitting there thinking about the shit. It's like, well, fuck. The first thing that is I, me, and my. And then from that point, that's when you get to understanding all the multiplicities. But that is the mind. Remember that. It is after the appearance of the first personal pronoun that the second and third personal pronouns appear. Without the first personal pronoun, there would be no second or third. Like, you just simply start putting this. Y'all know how it is. Y'all all spiritual folks and occultists, so y'all know how it is. You just start putting it. Like, it just makes the most obvious fucking sense. It's like, duh. Damn, I didn't even think about that. That's a fucking obvious one. Right? So, what am I looking at? So, 10. Will the mind become quiescent? By the inquiry, who am I? The thoughts, who am I, will destroy other thoughts. By the inquiry process, who am I? By that process, right? By asking, who am I? The thought, who am I, will destroy other thoughts, y'all. There's your practice. There's your spiritual practice right there. Take 2 minutes out the day. Take 1 minute. Take 30 motherfucking seconds, nigga. Take 30 motherfucking seconds and ask, who the fuck am I? There's your practice. There's your practice. I don't know what else to tell you. Let me see what Coop just said. Let me finish reading this. And like the stick used for stirring the burning pie, it will itself in the end get destroyed. Then there will arise self-realization. Okay, Cool TGS said I had a crazy experience doing the chakra shooting. Concentrating on my heartbeat, my inner being became so expansive, and time seemed to slow down. Even this book read is a huge synchronicity for me. Which means what? Ain't no accident. Ain't no coincidence. Exactly what you supposed to be hearing. Here's the thing about me. I wouldn't give a fuck if it was for one motherfucker. That's what it's supposed to be for. That's how this shit work. That's how this shit work. Like real shit. This shit is not about reaching the masses. This information here cannot be for the fucking masses, bro. Please believe I am not in everyday life having conversations with people saying, oh yeah, pure consciousness, you're not the body, you're not the mind. Hell no. No. Martha says, even Papa G says, it can happen in just 1 second. That's it. Spontaneous. The realizations, spontaneous, bro. Hold up. So, spontaneous. Because think about it. How does this world appear? I'm not the deepest on the Big Bang Theory, but it's just like the Big Bang. Boom! Just like when you go into the dream world. The trees in the dream world, the table, the water, the baby mama, the friend, the sister, the cousin, the grandmama. Instantaneously, spontaneously, it appears. Same thing with this world. Same thing with this existence. Instantaneously, it appears. So you will have some vigilance in working with this, and then what next thing you'll know, instantaneously, self-realization. Yes, that's why, right, Chris Dixon? That's right. The Upanishads, that's what led me into getting a deeper understanding on this. You read the Upanishads, especially about the one by Sankaracharya, which is a non-dualist of Advaita Vedanta, because that's what Advaita Vedanta means. Ad means none, Dvaita means dual, so non-dual. Non-dual what? Non-dual understanding of the Vedas. And the Upanishads is the end of the Vedas. The Upanishads is the knowledge portion of the Vedas. It's completely focused on Brahman and Atman in the self. The other portion of the Vedas are what they call lower knowledge. I didn't make that up. That's what they said. The other portion of it's literally in the Mandukya Upanishad, I believe. Because the student asked the teachers, he said, I remember this, and I'm paraphrasing. The student asked the teacher, he said, what is Brahman, and how, basically how can I know what is the higher knowledge? What is the highest of all the knowledge? No, this is what he said. This is exactly what he said. I always repeat it. What is that one thing by knowing that one thing that all is known? So, what is this one thing that I can know? And if I know this, I know every goddamn thing. Just that one thing. What is that? The teacher didn't give him no direct answer. He told him straightforward, let's build you up. He did just like this. There is the higher knowledge and there is the lower knowledge. The lower knowledge consists of rituals, the magic, astrology, math, the verbal teachings of Sanskrit, and everything within that realm. So that you know what I'm saying? Stock trading, you know what I'm saying? How to drive a car, you know what I'm saying? How to properly eat, how to have manners, how to have morals. You know what I'm saying? What a woman and what a man shouldn't do. That's all lower knowledge. Astrology, I said that already, didn't I? The gods and goddesses, that's all lower knowledge. The higher knowledge is knowledge of Brahman, the self, Atman and Brahman. That's it. Facts, sir, impeccable. Those who think they know Brahman really do not know. So those who say that they know Brahman not. Those who do not know Brahman know Brahman. Because you don't know it. You can't know it. That's the trick, gang. I was looking through Advaita Sara earlier. This is a divine text as well. Really mind-blowing, straight cosmic P. Oh, you talking about this motherfucker right there? You talking about that, Mafra? Oh, is it Vedanta Sara or Advaita Sara? Is that what you're talking about? Let me know. Because if not, I don't think I got that one. Alright, let's continue, y'all. What is the means for constantly holding on to thought? What is the means for constantly holding on to the thought? Oh, that's it. Okay, that what's up. Yes, sir. See what I'm saying? I don't even think I ever put that one out there. See, we got ones that just go out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're hungry for the shit. Just go out there and get it. I ain't say shit about that.
You get this shit?
No, it's all good. This ain't our first language. Our first language is English, so I be fucking up words and titles too. So, you know, it is what it is. So what is the means for constantly holding on to the thought? Who am I? When other thoughts arise, one should not pursue them, but should inquire, to whom do these thoughts arise? It does not matter how many thoughts arise. Each thought arises, one should inquire with diligence. To whom has this thought arisen? The answer that will emerge would be to me. You hear that? The answer that will emerge will be to me. Thereupon, if one inquires, who am I? The mind will go back to its source. And the thought that arose will become quiescent. With repeated practice in this manner, the mind will develop the skill to stay in its source. When the mind that is subtle goes through the brain and the sense organs, the gross names and forms appear. When it stays in the heart, the names and forms disappear. Let's read that again. With repeated practice in this manner, the mind will develop the skill to stay in its source. So it's like a muscle. It's a skill. With repeated practice, the mind will go back and stay in its source. When the mind that is subtle goes out through the brain in the sense organs, the gross names and forms will appear. So when the mind is turned outward, the whole world appears to the world appears to be real to you. When it stays in the heart, the names and forms disappear. Not letting the mind go out, but remaining it in the heart is what's called inwardness. All right, letting the mind go out of the heart is known as externalization. Thus, when the mind stays in the heart, the I, which is the source of all thoughts, will go. When the mind stays in the heart, the I, which is the source of all thoughts, will go. And the self, whichever exists, will shine. And the self, whichever exists, will shine. Whatever one does, one should do it without egoity. I-ness, right? If one acts in that way, all will appear as the same nature of Shiva. Do you hear that? I know you've heard it a million times here. It's God all around you. It's Shiva all around. Pick a God. Whatever God you want to pick. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Pick it. Motherfucker. Pick whatever God you want to pick. But when one acts outside of this I-ness, of this separateness, this egoity, this I-ness, I, all would appear as the nature of Shiva. 12. Are there no other means for making the mind quiescent? Let's see. Hey man, y'all ain't coming. That's up to y'all. The other than inquiry, there are no adequate methods. There are no adequate means. Of course, you'll find another system that disagree. I am not here to debate it. Puzzle said Shiva or Shiva. That's my guy. I got a Hindu friend. I think today is like a special day for Shiva or something traditionally. Oh, look. We got Akash Naresh. Peace, Akash Naresh. We are learning and reading from Sri Ramana Maharshi, a non-dualist, a profound teacher, guru in my opinion. Who am I? Akash Naresh, where are you from? Where you tuning in from, Akash? Where you tuning in from? As you can see, I'm full-blooded American. So forgive me if I offend in any way. Let's go. One other than inquiry, there are no adequate means. Okay, he's in India. Okay, appreciate you for tuning in all the way from India. Thank you so much for tuning in. Other than inquiry, there are no adequate means. If through other means it is sought to control the mind will appear to be controlled. Listen. So all these meditative practices is getting the mind to appear as if it's being controlled. It's tricking the mind. You're playing tricks with the mind. You're playing little cool little tricks with the mind. If through other means it is sought to control the mind. The mind, what they say on Friday? I got Debo under mind control. When he here, I shut up. But when he leave, I be back talking again. You see what I'm saying? Same thing. The mind will appear to be controlled, but will again go forth. I keep telling you, the mind is going to do what the fuck it's going to do. After however many chants or mantras you do, after how long you stay in meditation, you come back outside of that mind, that motherfucker is going to be back doing what its nature is to do. To be prakriti. Nature. To do. To think. To latch on to shit. But through the control of breath also, the mind will become quiescent. But it will be quiescent only so long as the breath remains controlled. And when the breath resumes, the mind will also again start moving and will wander as impelled by residual impressions. That chatter shit don't stop. All you can do is pull back from it and observe it and just let it do. And that's what he's teaching. Through practice, eventually that's what will start happening. I disagree, Sir Impeccable. Don't watch your language. Watch your language. That's a bad word. We definitely not the prisoner of the mind. You're definitely not the prisoner of the mind. You know better than that type of language. You're not the prisoner of the mind, Sir Impeccable. You're not. So, and when the breath resumes, the mind also will again start moving. So you got to understand the mind. Play with the breath, and you will see how directly connected the mind and the breath is. Of course, if you already studied this shit, you know that. But they're very directly correlated. No breath, no mind. No prana, no mind. No prana, no mind. Standing on P is Kali. Standing on Shiva. Hey, I ain't never forget that. Hey, you still gave me an idea with that one. Call me puzzle piece. Still gave me an idea with that one. Standing on P is Kali. Standing on Shiva. Dance like Kali. Come on now. Don Tree say the architect. Let's go. Okay. Well, Future say okay. Okay. Pimpity. Like a magic bitch, I'm done one. Got 2 hoes on me, 2 poles on me like King Griffin. Right. I enjoy just sitting in stillness. Right. Literally studying our creation. That's it. That's it, y'all. I was watching an interview with Charles Manson. They asked him how he felt about being in prison. He said, what prison? No, Charles Manson was tapped in. Charles Manson was tapped in, y'all. I ain't got nothing to agree with what he did with the body-mind complex. But he seemed very tapped in when you watch that motherfucking interview. For real. He seemed very tapped in. And when the breath resumes, the mind will also go again, start moving and will wander as impelled by residual impressions. Right? So your mental impressions is what's creating your belief systems. Remember, your beliefs are not fucking real. You don't have real beliefs. The shit you believed when you was a child, you don't believe now. The shit that you believed when you was a Christian, you know damn well you don't believe now. You used to believe the brand new 2001 Cadillac was the freshest shit. Now it's not no more. That shit like a piece of shit riding down the road. Your beliefs are impressionable. They're changeable. Right? The source is the same for both mind and breath. Here it goes. Listen. The source is the same for both mind and breath. Thought, indeed, is the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is thoughts. No thoughts, no mind. No mind, no thoughts. The thought I is the first thought of the mind, and that is egoity. So when we're talking about the ego, killing the ego, how you going to get away from I? I'm not saying you can't. How you going to get away from I, though? The lowercase I. It is from that whence egoity originates, that breath also originates. It is from that whence egoity originates, that breath also originates. Therefore, when the mind becomes quiescent, the breath is controlled. And when the breath is controlled, the mind becomes quiescent. But in deep sleep, although the mind becomes quiescent, the breath does not stop. That is because of the will of God. So that the body may be preserved and other people may not be under the impression that it is dead. In the state of the waking and in samadhi, when the mind becomes quiescent, the breath is controlled. And we got the understanding of samadhi, right? That's the highest state of meditation that motherfuckers try to get to. Right, Akash? The seed from which everything sprouts. Okay, let me see what Sir Impeccable say. I'm like, oh man, don't tell me Sir Impeccable left. I say that to say this is while we here now, being awareness. As long as we are in this realm, we are in the constant battle with the mind. We are in constant battle with the mind. And that's the exact reason for that. That's the exact reason why we putting up this book. Because you don't have to be in a battle with the mind. You don't have to be no more. We don't have to be. We don't have to be. With this level of information existing. We don't have to be in a battle with the mind. Now, facts, okay, Akash, I definitely do understand that. Cause I know about another state. Is it near Koppel? Near Koppel? I can't pronounce it. Near Koppel, Samadhi. There are degrees to Samadhi, though. Even a simple accidental zoning out is actually Samadhi. Not the highest, but a shade of absorption. Facts. I definitely do recognize and understand that. 100% agreed. I mean, it's not like it needs me to agree with it. That is a fact. That's definitely a fact. Yeah, near Koppel Samadhi. Yeah. Okay. To the time of death. Yeah, there you go. See, I can't spell it. So excuse my ignorance as part of my American, you know what I'm saying, pronunciation. Hey, Nakash, I hope you subscribe, man. Oh, damn, you just subscribed. Oh, no, that wasn't you. Somebody else named Akash Ra subscribed 5 days ago. Let's see. Yeah, whoever this was subscribed like 5 days ago. But, okay. Hopefully you subscribe, man. We'd love to have you in the chat whenever you get the time. I know when you in India, it's probably nighttime over there. Probably here. It's probably the next day. I don't know how many time zones you're away. Okay. But no, we definitely appreciate you coming over here dropping these gems. You know, because all of us are really Americans over here, as far as I'm concerned, that watch the channel. Hey, guess what? What's her name said? TikTok just told me consuming substances featured in this live could harm your health. They don't know that I'm not the body and not the mind. You know. Okay. No, and they speaking on it right now, sir. Impeccable. It's not like I hope you don't. I don't think, and I know you're not, but not taking it as me just like, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. No, that the thing here is that I'm just saying it to have because the words that we choose. Okay, how do I get that from up out there? Because the words that we end up choosing. The words that we end up choosing is what's actually doing it to us. The words that we end up choosing is what's actually doing it to us. So we are honestly, I swear to God, we're honestly not in a battle with the mind because the mind is doing what it does. If you identify as the body in the mind, then you will say, then you can legitimately say that you are in a battle with the mind. But if you are identifying as pure consciousness, you're doing nothing but observing the mind. And whether anyone, okay, sir, impeccable. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure, bro. Because, sometimes it's hard to be able to tell where a person is coming from through a chat. That's why I be trying to get y'all motherfuckers to come live stream with me. But don't nobody want to get on a live stream. And we can all just, you know what I'm saying? Fuck around and just, even if you don't want to turn your camera on, just have a cosmic P discussion around this motherfucker. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. Fuck it, let's go though, y'all. Oh, fuck it, let's go. Breath is, but as long as okay, sir, impeccable. I'm glad that we on that level. Breath is the gross from the mind. Listen, breath is the gross form of the mind. Have you ever heard that shit? Breath is a gross form of the mind. God damn. Till the time of death, the mind keeps breath in the body. And when the body dies, the mind takes the breath along with it. Prana and mind are the same goddamn thing. Okay, well you on a Discord, so I think the last time I did it, it was random. So I try to have a set date. I'm like, hey everybody, what y'all think? How many people can join this day? And everybody like, oh, I work this day, I'm free this day or whatnot. So hopefully we can get some going. Because I love to have y'all on, bro. Real shit. The time of breath is the gross form of mind. To the time of death, the mind keeps the breath in the body. The mind keeps the breath in the body. And when the body dies, the mind takes the breath along with it. Therefore, the existence of breath, therefore, the exercise of breath control is only an aid for rendering the mind quiescent. Sit with that, y'all. It will not destroy the mind. You gotta remember, this non-duality shit is about destroying the mind, not controlling it. So, yeah, it's falling too deep. Yeah, it's end up with no mind. Yeah, it's end up with no mind. I don't know what you've been told, but I gotta get some breath control. Like the practice of breath control, meditation on the forms of God, repetition of mantras, restriction of food, etc., are but aids for rendering the mind quiescent. So notice how he's not saying that it's bad, it's stupid. He's saying these things are aid. These things are aid. So they do perform some aid to a degree, right? He's saying basically what he's saying, that has nothing to do with self-realization though. But there is some aid that can happen there. Because you got people with self-realization who smoke cigarettes, sit there and smoke squares. You know what I'm saying? Who may eat some unhealthy food. And people be like, oh, you don't eat vegan, ain't nowhere in the world you got knowledge of self, or you ain't spiritual if you don't eat vegan. And I got my freeze-dried strawberries. So, that type shit. Like the practice of breath control, meditation on forms of God, repetition and mantras, restriction of the food are but aids for rendering the mind quiescent. Through meditation on the forms of God and through repetition of the mantra, the mind becomes one-pointed. So it has use. Facts, Akash, facts. The mind will always be wondering. Just as, listen. Through meditation of forms of God and through repetition of mantras, the mind becomes one-pointed. The mind will always be wondering. Just as when a chain is given to an elephant to hold in its trunk. The mind will always be wondering. Just as when a chain is given to an elephant to hold in its trunk, it will go along grasping the chain and nothing else. So also when the mind is occupied with a name or form, it will grasp that alone. Think about that with all the spiritual shit that we do too. That's why I said all of these goddamn concepts, the mind is going to grasp onto it and latch onto it and attach itself to it. That's what the 5 elements do. That's how the 5 elements so-called create the matrix. They latch on with each other. Prithvi, Akash, Agni, Prithvi, all the elements, goddammit. All the fucking elements latch on to each other and they create the rest of reality. That's what's happening here. And how do you know? Find the correlation. That's the same thing the mind is doing. That's the same thing that the sense organs are doing. That's the same thing that the senses are doing. You see what I mean by the mind is the matrix? When the mind expands in the form of countless thoughts. Check this out. I don't know what he's finna say, but I feel like it's gonna be profound. When the mind expands in the forms of countless thoughts, each thought becomes weak. But as thoughts get resolved, the mind becomes one-pointed and strong. For such a mind, self-inquiry will become easy. Alright? So when people hear me say shit about meditation or mantras, nigga, obvious, nigga, meditate. My Gnosis. I say my Gnosis. Remix 40, what's happening? I need to start doing that when everybody start entering the chat. So, what was I saying? I don't remember. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? A nigga never really could speak against meditation. Of course not. That's folly. That's foolishness. Especially over here for us in the West, our mind is like a goddamn 747 Boeing jet. That motherfucker likes to go. Of all of the restrictive rules that relating to the taking of sattvic food in moderate quantities is the best. By observing this rule, the sattvic quality of mind will increase, and that will be helpful to self-inquiry. It will be helpful to eat sattvic vegetarian food. That's what he's telling you. And we know this, right? Because all the vegans tell us this. But that don't mean that they're all primed for self-realization. Because I know some messy-ass vegans. I know some vegans who can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know some too. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's nothing against vegan. This is what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is not one-sided. Just because you eat the perfect food or just because you have the perfect workout regimen does not mean that you are equipped to be for self-realization, is what I'm saying. But as you can see, as someone who has had self-realization, it is perfectly helpful. The meditations and the mantras are all an aid to help. Alright, let's see. Cool TGS. Also, when an elephant is young, they tied with heavy chains, and it struggles in the youth. When it's grown, they tie it by a thin rope. It doesn't understand. It can break free. Swear to God, bro. Swear to God. Say swear to God. Okay. So, Akash, give me a So when you saying that, what's the name? Hold up. No, I know that the term sattvic does not mean vegan. Is that what you're saying? I definitely know that. So I know about the three gunas. I know about the three gunas. Sattvic, Thomas, and Rogers. So I know in their three meanings, but I'm not facts, Don Tree. Vegetables not the key to enlightenment. Nigga, I'm gonna eat me some hot funyuns, nigga. Here, nigga, sound bad. Until I'm ready to change my diet. Till the body mind complex is ready to change its diet. See how I switch out from the body mind complex till I'm ready to change my diet. Oh, until the body mind is ready to change its diet. You know what I'm saying? We gotta watch our language. Getting better with it. But yeah, Akash, if you was let me know what he mean by sattvic foods. Oh, just organic. I say veganism is extreme, nevertheless. Remix 40 said perfect soul. I'm not perfect. I aspire to be free. Hey, Akash said it implies just organic. I say veganism is extreme. Facts. Them motherfuckers is some soldiers. Oh, okay, cool TGS. Also, sattvic diet meaning nothing highly stimulating flavors. Yeah, he did speak about that. When we get to the BSUR book, he spoke about sattvic foods. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with no spices. He said spices keep the mind active. So Kosh said, may all beings be free. People need to eat the organic stuff. I got my little bag of artificial here. Got my little bag of artificial here. Got my little bag of artificial flavored. They used to, I thought they used to say artificially flavored. But yeah, whatever. All right, y'all. Come on. Look, let's get to it. We all got our dose of artificial. Shout out to Don Tree, man. I just picked up on them neem. I picked up on that neem. I've been taking neem. Got the neem. Yeah, Remix 40. That's believe. You are what you eat if you believe you are the body. You are what you eat if you believe you are the body. So that means if you eat all organic with the focus that means people are all organic. That means they ultimately would identify themselves with the Matrix. Because we can't think about it. We can't say this whole reality is an illusion, and we not the illusion. But I'm nature. I'm a part of nature. Nature is the illusion too, buddy. But nonetheless, man, I have nothing against eating better. Real shit. I'm about to start. I go through my phases where I start eating healthy, then I get back to this shit. Then I eat healthy, then I start getting back to this shit. I go through my little phases. So no way and no how do I not recognize the benefits of eating healthy. I'm 100% with that. Just making a joke. That's ultimately the truth. The realization, the residual impressions, thoughts of objects appear unending like the waves of an ocean. When will all of them get destroyed? Here we go. He got one simple answer. As the meditation on the self rises higher and higher, right? the thoughts will get destroyed. That simple. It is possible for the residual impressions of objects that come from beginningless. Listen, is it possible for the residual impressions of objects that come from beginningless time, as it were, to be resolved, and for one to remain as the pure self? Check this out. Without yielding to the doubt, without yielding to the doubt, is it possible or not? Listen, one should persistently hold on to the meditation of self. So listen, this person asks the questions of, is it possible for residual impressions of objects that come from beginningless time, as it were, to be resolved? So basically what they're saying, they're trying to solve a problem of something, of residual impressions from the past. Instead of worrying about that, how about one should repeatedly, persistently hold on to the meditation of the self? Because why would he tell somebody that? Because what you're going to do is you're going to get lost in thoughts and concepts. And you're going to give the mind some busy work. You know how you get busy work and you think you're doing some shit? You're doing a whole bunch of shit that gave you no progress. Just by reading that, I know exactly what the fuck he's saying. I know exactly what the fuck he's saying. Damn, I'm missing a lot of goddamn. The body is inside of the all, Akash. 100% agreed. But you know, you go through the paths of nati first. Not this, not this, and not that. All is Brahman. All is the self. All is an appearance within the self. To be more straightforward. Okay, god damn, I'm missing a lot. Ain't none of y'all gonna save your ass. None of them gonna save your ass. This body gonna die. That's what I'm saying. Ultimately, the body that has this karma is gonna die. So, you know, I'm not trying to live to be 150 goddamn years old. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm missing shit. I agree, but they truthfully are concepts. Balance died. Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. Alright, bet. Peace 40. This lady just died. Let me say, this lady just died eating a fruit-based diet at 38 years from malnutrition. Hey, I remember. Yeah, okay, let's not. Alright, I'm about to start talking about all the food. Peace and prosperity, brother Gnosis in chat. What's up in Rafe 636? I don't know. People get really offended when you talk about food and diet. And my thing is, in reality, this is not anybody in the chat, but just in reality, what are you trying to do? You're trying to prolong life? Rarely do you meet anybody saying, I'm eating sattvic food to really get my mind to this balance point so I can have self-realization. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. Everybody's trying to do it to keep the body living as long as it can, longer. That's what people are really doing, ultimately, on a general scale. Nobody's trying to do it like, I want self-realization, so I'm doing it. Facts. The body needs a balanced diet and need. What is the substance everything is made up of? Well, one could say, if we wanted to say a substance, one would say it would definitely be Akash. 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 Hey, Chris. Chris Dixon, same here. Them hot phones be busting like a motherfucker. There are no others. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Facts. Alright, let's go, y'all. Let's go. Because I want to finish this shit. I think it's only, 18 questions or 20 questions. We're going to get through this shit today. I'll tell you that now. Without yielding, hold up. Without yielding to the doubt, is it possible or not? One should persistently hold on to the meditation of the self. Even if one be a great sinner, one should not worry and weep. Do you hear this? If you so-called it's a so-called, it is. If you're a so-called sinner, one should not worry and weep. Oh, I am a sinner. How can I be saved? One should completely renounce the thought that I am a sinner and concentrate keenly on the meditation of the self. Then one will surely succeed. There are not two minds. There is not two minds. There is not two minds. One good and one other evil. The mind is only one. And it is the residual impressions that are of two kinds. You get what he's going with this? Good and evil. These are the impressions on the mind that's telling you what's good and what's evil. What might be evil here in Texas may not be evil over there in India where Akash is. What's evil in so-called black culture may not be evil in so-called Caucasian culture or Hispanic culture or Asian culture. It's the residual impressions. But I know everyone here already understands that shit. Auspicious and inauspicious. When the mind is under the influence of auspicious impressions, it is called good. And when it's under the influence of inauspicious impressions, it is regarded as evil. The mind should not be allowed to wander towards the worldly objects what concerns other people, however bad other people may be. One should bear no hatred for them. Listen to this. The mind should not be allowed to wander towards worldly objects and what concerns other people, however bad other people may be. One should not bear hatred to them. Both desire and hatred should be eschewed. All that one gives to others, one gives to oneself. If this truth is understood, who will not give to others? So I told you, like, I don't give a fuck if the junkie at the store asks if I got some money in my goddamn pocket, he want $1 to get him a pack of cigarettes, or to go buy him a $5 rock. That ain't none of my goddamn business. He is me. I am he. Literally though, like not just us some nice shit. We all human beings. We ain't even fucking human beings, man. When one's self arises, all arises. When one's self becomes quiescent, all becomes quiescent. To the extent we behave with humility, to that extent there will result good. Especially like when it's shit I don't know. I got the most humility. I'm like, you know, when we dealing with the mind and some spiritual shit, you know what I'm saying? But even then, I shut the fuck up and listen. How you think I ran into the Trav? I had to shut the fuck up and listen. This is a nigga who was a master at teaching the tree of life. Had to shut the fuck up and listen. I don't know that shit. So at the time I didn't know, I learned, nigga. I sat there and learned with ignorance and humility. I told y'all what experience brought me to that point. You gotta be able to have that shit. We gotta stop thinking we know every goddamn thing. Because now we get to this level and understand that we know nothing. There's nothing to be known about the self. Ain't shit to be known. Come on, man. To that extent, there will result good. And basically, that's karmic yoga right there. So, if the mind is rendered quiescent, one may live anywhere. You can live anywhere. 15. How long should inquiry be practiced? As long as there are impressions of objects in the mind. So long the inquiry, who am I, is required. As thoughts arise, they should be destroyed, and there in the very place of their origin through inquiry. If one resorts to contemplation of the self unintermittently, what the fuck? What is that word? Oh, unintermittently, like intermittence, like an intermittence. Okay, so if one resorts to contemplation of the self unintermittently until the self, basically uninterrupted, until the self is gained, that alone would do. All right. As long as there are enemies within the fortress, they will continue to sally forth. If they are destroyed as they merge, the fortress will also fall into our hands. There are no enemies. You are not an enemy to yourself. There are no enemies. If you just stop the thoughts as they come through with the self-inquiry process, the fortress falls within your hands. 16. What is the nature of the self? They asking this again. What exists in truth is the self alone. The world, the individual soul, and God are appearances in it. So your individual soul, there is no individual soul. My soul, my soul, my soul. There is no individual soul. There's one soul. And see, in like double speak, because he'll say something about the one thing, one way about the soul, and then that's another story. What exists in truth is the self alone. The world, the individual soul, and God are appearances in it. God in your individual soul is nothing but an appearance within you, the self, pure existence, consciousness, bliss. Like silver and the mother of pearl, these three appear at the same time and disappear at the same time. Damn, I'm missing shit. All good, brother, tapping in on the knowledge. Definitely had to come through and show support. Appreciate you, Ray, for 636. Mothra says, so I guess the subconscious mind, so-called, is just the auspicious and the inauspicious impressions on the mind. Remember, like I would even say a sub-mind versus subconscious. Because we know conscious is one, it's whole. It's not broken up into unconscious, conscious, and subconscious. But yes, I could agree with that. Those auspicious and inauspicious impressions on the sub-mind. I agree with that, Mothra. I agree with that. Cosmic puzzle piece. Okay, oh. Good and evil are just titles and labels. Right, they just concepts. They just appearances in the mind, which are mental impressions. Alright? So God and individual soul appear in the mind, just like silver and mother of pearl. These three appear at the same time and disappear at the same time. The self is that where, listen, the self is that where there is absolutely no I thought. That means absolutely no ego, right? Absolutely no mind. That is called silence. The self itself is the world. The self itself is I. The self itself is God. All is Shiva or Siva. The self. All is the self. So back to like Akash saying, like which we know, all is Brahman. Even this body. Even this appearance of a body. So even though pig feet that niggas like to eat, yes, even these Funyuns that I want to eat, all is Brahman. Even the vegan, even the organic. It's nothing but Brahman. It's nothing but the self. It's nothing but Shiva. 17. It's nothing. I mean, it's not everything the work of God. Without desire, resolve, or effort, the sun rises. Listen. I just made this post. Without effort, without will. You don't have to use no will. Without desire, without resolve, or effort, the sun rises. And in its mere presence, the sunstone emits fire. The lotus blooms. The water evaporates. You get what he's saying? You're the sun. All of this shit appears in front of you. All of this shit is in presence. It's present in front of you. Right? The people perform their various functions and then rest in the presence of the sun, right? Just as in the presence of the magnet, the needle moves. It is by virtue of the mere presence of God that the souls governed by the three cosmic functions. We know the three cosmic functions, right? That's the three gunas. By the three cosmic functions or the fivefold divine activity perform their actions. That's the three gunas and the five elements. Them the motherfuckers. That's the motherfuckers. Nonetheless a concept, but that's the motherfuckers. So these by the three cosmic functions or the fivefold divine activity perform their actions and then rest in accordance with their respective karmas. God has no resolve. No karma attaches itself to him. That is like worldly actions not affecting the sun. So if we talking perfect food and perfect action and perfect this and perfect that, none of that affects the self. That is like worldly actions not affecting the self, or like the merits or demerits of the other four elements not affecting all pervasive space. Earth, water, air, and fire don't do shit to space. Think about this. If 4 out of the 5 of planets were blown up, what happens to space? Is space damaged? No. If all of the planets are blown up, is space damaged? No. You don't get to damage space. This is the same thing we're saying here. All-pervading space. Or Akash. Right? 18. Of the devotee, who is the greatest? He who gives himself up to the self. That is God. That is God. Is the most excellent devotee. Giving oneself up to God means remaining constantly. Listen, here we go. Surrender to God, right? Or surrender to the self, whichever concept works for you. Giving oneself up to God means remaining constantly in itself without giving room for the rise of any thoughts other than that the self. Worship the self, y'all. Worship self. Whatever burdens are thrown on God, he bears them. Since the supreme power of God makes all things move, why should we, without submitting ourselves to it, constantly weary ourselves with thoughts as to what should be done and how? And what should not be done and how not? This sounds very much like some shit that you heard from the Bible scriptures. Like your grandma used to say, I let the Lord handle it. I let God handle it. Some of them was dead serious. Didn't have a worry. No worries. No worries. We know that the train carries all loads. So after getting on it, why should we carry our small luggage on our head to our discomfort? Instead of putting it down in the train and feeling at ease, my nickels. Let's see. Akash says, the self is everywhere. Bright is the self. Indivisible, untouched by sin. Wise, eminent, and transcendent. He it is who holds the cosmos together. The Isha Upanishad. Come on. Akash coming in here dropping them gems. Don Tree said, eternally I shine. Verse 63 says, exactly. Just shut up and open your mind. And close the mouth, don't get fed. A closed mouth don't get fed. But open a mind. But an open mind creates all. Come on, yo. Cosmic Puzzle Piece said, there's a story where Shiva cut off one of Brahma's heads and made him bow because of his arrogance. I remember that. Facts. Facts. Society says, he who sees all beings in the self and the self in all beings. He never turns away from it. We got the gang here tonight. Got the gang in here tonight. Got the gang in here tonight. Got the gang in here tonight. Dropping that shit. Empress Divine, S.O. motherfucking P. What's happening? What's happening, Captain? 19. What is non-attachment? Let's see. As thoughts arise, destroying them utterly without any residue in the very place of their origin is non-attachment. Have you ever heard anybody tell you that's what non-attachment is? Stop attaching yourself to the thoughts, man. Come on, gang. Come on, gang. Come on, man.
All that bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul.
Non-attachment is detaching yourself from the mind. It's not a person. It's the concepts in your mind. Stop attaching yourself to your fucked up ass opinions. Whatever they may be. You gotta check that shit. I always check my shit. My shit get checked. My woman check my shit or bring it to my attention, and I gotta check my shit. And sometimes, it's a repeated process over here. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, detaching yourself from those thoughts, man. From one-sided opinions. Empress Divine says, just yesterday I was saying we are all the same. We are all known. We all know the same knowing. It's just expressed in different forms, just as we are one, represented by different aspects. Facts, that's all it is. Showing up as different name forms and functions. Different name forms and functions. Different concepts. And think about it, people kill people over that. Everybody's saying the same shit, but somebody still thinks they shit is the most, like, that's wrong and my shit is right. Everybody, it's the same shit. People have died since the fucking beginning of however fucking beginning. Since Cain killed Abel, if you believe that. So, as thoughts arise, this is your non-attachment, y'all. As thoughts arise, destroying them utterly, without any residue in the very place of their origin, is non-attachment. Just as the pearl diver ties a stone to his waist, sinks to the bottom of the sea, and takes the pearls, so each one of us should be endowed with this non-attachment. Dive within oneself and obtain the self-pearl. There you go. It has been done. It has been said. It has been spoken. There's your non-attachment. Society says, I'm guilty of it at times, but that's the ego. Still working on the concept of being right. Same here. It exists. It exists. But that's the first step. Noticing that that's the mind and the ego playing with your ass. It's like they say, once you understand that the manipulator is manipulating and you know the manipulating tactics, how can you still get manipulated? So yes, the government may be trying to pull manipulative tactics, but I'm outside of that shit. That don't mean shit to me. Ultimately, that don't mean nothing to me. They're trying to erase black history out the schools for the kids, and I'm beyond that shit. I have kids, I got enough history that I can teach. Let them go learn that shit, and they can learn this shit too. I'm not saying the kids will be ready for this type of shit, this self-inquiry shit. I'm talking about history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the exact places to go for the sources. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside of that shit. You're not manipulating me and pulling one over fast on me. Because I'm not trying to build my heaven on fucking earth. As in, earth is for everlasting. You get what I'm saying here? Like, this is heaven on earth already. So, how is it that? Because I've stepped outside of the illusion. I've seen the manipulation of Maya, the illusion, to get me to think that I'm suffering. To get me to think there's something or someone that I need to fight against. To get me scrambling and scraping. Yeah. Once that's removed, heaven, acute, whatever. I don't even think that's a word, acute. It may be. But I just made that shit up and sound like it goes with that sentence. That's that damn debater elemental. Facts. 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 So remember, y'all, what's non-attachment? As thoughts arise, destroying them utterly without any residue in the very place of their origin is non-attachment. Alright? 20. Is it not possible for God and the Guru to effect the liberation of the soul? Here we go. Here we go. Can God and the Guru liberate you? God and the Guru will only show the way. What Jesus say? What did Jesus say? I came to show the way. Nigga. I came to show the way. Whatever the fuck you niggas may look at me as, I ain't doing shit but pointing. Whatever the fuck you may look at Panic as, whatever the fuck you may look at Bobby Hemmett as, whatever the fuck you may look at Travis Majors as. He said it himself as well. We don't do shit but point you to the direction. We nothing but you ultimately anyway. Jesus was nothing but you, whether he existed or not. Because you don't exist. So who the fuck can sit here and argue about if Jesus exists? This is an illusion, remember? You don't exist. So you fucking right, Jesus didn't exist. Because you don't exist. Nigga. God and the Guru will only show you the way to liberation. They will not by themselves take the soul to the state of liberation. In truth, God and the Guru are not different. There you go. God and the Guru are not different. The self and the Guru are not different. Just as they pray, just as the prey which has fallen into the jaws of the tiger has no escape, so those who have come within the ambient of the Guru's gracious look will be saved by the Guru and will not get lost. Yet each one should, by his own effort, pursue the path shown by God or the Guru and gain liberation. Let's read that again. In truth, God and the Guru are not different. Just as the prey which has fallen into the jaws of the tiger has no escape. See how you niggas, once you open up your eyes and became aware, since you came into this knowledge, you couldn't turn back no matter how much. Maybe sometimes you stop having so much of it going on in your life, you get some worldly shit, but you find yourself right back here. Yeah, I've been there too, buddy. Yeah, you ain't getting away. You never left. You can't. So, those who have come within the ambient of the Guru's gracious look will be saved by the Guru and will not get lost. Yet, each one should, by his own effort, pursue the path shown by God or the Guru and gain liberation. One can know oneself only with one's own eye of knowledge and not with somebody else's. Does he who is Ramana require the help of a mirror to know who is Rama? Do you need the mirror to help you figure out who the fuck you are? Before you knew the concept of a mirror, you knew that you were. You knew that I am. All motherfuckers can do is point you into the direction. And to your own temperament. You don't need to get it like this teacher. You don't need to get it like this teacher. You don't need to get it like this. You don't need to get it like this one. You have your own body, mind, karma. But the goal can be the same. Ultimately, there's not another spiritual goal. It may be taught in another concept, in another methodology, whether it's Allah, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Hecate, whether it's goddamn Maya and Osiris, whatever the fuck the case may be. It's still the same shit. That's the only goal to get to this point we're talking about here. 21. Is it necessary for one who longs for liberation to inquire into the nature of categories, or aka the tattvas, the elementals? Let's see. Just as one who wants to throw away garbage, listen, just as one who wants to throw away garbage has no need to analyze it, damn. Hold up, damn. Damn. Oh, let me read some of these comments. Liberation is the soul's birthright, Asadia says, for it has never been enslaved. Akash Naresh says, God, Guru, and Self, all one. Ramana Maharshi. Alright. Colin Puzzle said, Asadia, that's Guru talk. For real. Ray 63 says, definitely delivering that P. Come on, man. That part 100. I'm my children's teacher. Oh, you talking about, yeah. Solid. You know what I'm saying? It had to be done in some other time zone. Some other time that we believe existed. You got to teach your kids. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. If that's what it is, that's what it is. I ain't saying it's easy in this world. I ain't saying it's easy to the body-mind complex. But to pure awareness consciousness, it ain't shit. Just as one who wants to throw away, so he asks, do I need to inquire into the nature of the elements? Just as one of the tattvas, right? Just as one who wants to throw away garbage has no realize it and see what it is, so one who wants to know the self has no need to count the number of categories or inquire into their characteristics. What he has to do is to reject altogether the categories that hide the self. Damn. The world should be considered like a dream. 22. Is there no difference between waking and dream? Waking is long and dream is short. Other than that, there is no difference. There's no difference between a waking world and a dreaming world, y'all. And we occultists, we know that already, but let's say it again. Just as waking happenings seem real while awake, so does those in the dream. Those while dreaming. That's what I've been saying. It seems real when you in that dream. So is it real while you in this world? Yeah. Why are you identifying with it? If you identifying with this reality, yes, it's fucking real. In the dream, the mind takes on another body. In both waking and dreaming state, thoughts, names, and forms occur simultaneously. Just like in a dream, same shit happens in this motherfucker. Name, form, and thoughts occur simultaneously. 23. Is it any use reading books for those who long for liberation? All the texts say that in order to gain liberation, one should render the mind quiescent. Therefore, their conclusive teaching is that the mind should be rendered quiescent. Once this has been understood, there is no need for endless reading. In order to quieten the mind, one has only to inquire within oneself what oneself is. How could this search be done in books? So what do we always say? When we read in books, we're not looking to become smarter. We're looking for little bits of drops of something. It could be one goddamn sentence. They're like, that's fucking it. I told y'all that breakthrough I had happened watching a fucking cartoon. We're not trying to become big old scholars. Or big so like people who can get on the debate team and debate this shit. I'm not becoming more intelligent by reading this shit. I'm aligning the mind with this shit. This Cosmic P. One should. Damn, I missed something. What? I appreciate you, Akash, for coming through. Appreciate you for coming through, man. Definitely appreciate you for coming through, man. Hope we can see you again, bro. It was definitely an honor having you over here. One should know oneself within one's own eye of wisdom. Because no matter how much we read on goddamn Sundays, this is just to pass along some shit to have more mental impressions of that shit in your mind. It don't mean shit when you have the self-realization. When I had my experience, I couldn't refer back, the book. It was this direct experience. Couldn't go back to the book. The book is meant to point your ass somewhere. That's what I say. The book is meant to point you somewhere. Just like the guru. Because we don't go get to sit in front of Sri Ramana Maharshi. We wouldn't know shit about self-inquiry. We wouldn't know the whole thing about consciousness if a book wasn't read. Shit, he wouldn't know shit about the 5 elements. He wouldn't know shit about the mind and what composed of the mind if nothing wasn't taught. But the complete reliance on books, setting yourself up for failure. Setting yourself up to have more and more fucking concepts if you have complete reliance on books as far as knowing the self goes. Let that be clear. One should know one's own self-worth with one's own eye of wisdom. The self is within the 5 sheaths. See what I'm saying? You ain't gonna know nothing about the 5 sheaths unless you were taught or read. The self is within the 5 sheaths. Right? The Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, right? But books are inside them. Since the self has to be inquired into by discarding the 5 sheaths, it is futile to search for it in books. There will come a time when one will have to forget all that he has learned. "24. What is happiness? Happiness is the very nature of the self. Happiness and the self are not different. Happiness is there is no happiness in any object of the world. So you don't get money can buy you happiness. And money don't buy you happiness. You already have the happiness and you're trying to use the money to pull it out of you. You don't get the money, and then when you get the money, a big bag of happiness comes in, nigga. You don't get the money, and then, you know what I'm saying, sit there and wait for happiness to pull up. Happiness was already in you. It arises out of you because you have attached it to that money. There is no happiness in any object of the world. We imagine through our ignorance that we derive happiness from objects. When the mind goes out, it experiences misery. In truth, when its desires are fulfilled, it returns to its own place and enjoys that happiness in the self. So when the mind's desires are fulfilled, it actually returns to its own place and enjoys that happiness that is the self. Similar in the states of sleep, samadhi, and fainting. And when the object desired is obtained or the object disliked is removed, the mind becomes inward turned and enjoys pure self happiness. Do you hear what the fuck he just said? So just like getting that money to be happy, just like getting that house, just like getting that new car, just like getting that new set of clothes, just like taking that nice ass trip, just like getting a new pair of J's, just like getting your lashes done, just like getting your makeup and your nails and toes done, just like getting a shape up. Similarly, in the states of sleep and samadhi and fainting, and when the objects of desire is obtained or the objects disliked is removed, the mind becomes inward turned and enjoys pure self happiness. Thus, the mind moves without rest. Alternatively, going out of the self and returning back to it. Under the tree, the shade is pleasant. Out in the open, the heat is scorching. A person who has been going out in the sun feels cool when he reaches the shade. Someone who keeps on going from the shade into the sun and back into the shade is a fool. A wise man stays permanently in the shade. If it's hot out there, why do you keep going out there complaining about why it's hot? You get it? Similarly, the mind of the one who knows the truth does not leave Brahman. Ever present in Brahman. The mind of the ignorant, on the contrary, revolves in the world. The mind of the ignorant person, on the contrary, revolves in the world. So instead of their mind being dissolved into Brahman, their mind is revolving in the world, feeling miserable, and for a little time returns to Brahmans to experience happiness. In fact, that is called, in fact, what is called the world is only thought. What is called the world is only thought. When the world disappears, an example, when there is no thought, the mind experiences happiness. And when the world appears, it goes through misery. It's all the mind and the attachment in the mind that is causing you misery. What is 25? What is wisdom insight? Or jnana drishti, right? So what is wisdom? What is knowledge insight? Jnana drishti. Remaining quiet is what's called wisdom insight. To remain quiet to resolve the mind and the self. Telepathy, knowing past, present, and future happenings in clairvoyance do not constitute wisdom insight. So your magical mind powers, knowing the past, present, and future and other people's thoughts and future happenings in clairvoyance do not constitute wisdom insight. I ain't said it. Don't get mad at me. 26. What is the relation between desirelessness and wisdom? The desirelessness is wisdom. The two are not different. They are the same. Desirelessness is refraining from turning mind towards any object. Wisdom means the appearance of no object. Wisdom means the appearance of no objects. In other words, not seeking what is other than the self is detachment or desirelessness. Not leaving the self is wisdom. Man, we got to read that again. We have to read that again. Desirelessness is wisdom. The two are not different. They are the same. Desirelessness is refraining from turning the mind towards any object. Wisdom means the appearance of no object. So you're turning yourself away from objects, away from, and you're refraining the mind from going towards any object. In other words, not seeking what is other than the self is detachment or desirelessness. Not leaving the self, that is wisdom. Let me read y'all comments because we got 2 pages left. Happiness is fleeting because it's temporal, just like the object itself. Especially that level of happiness. I had to talk with somebody special just about that. We were talking about love and saying love ain't enough. Because what version of a love are you talking about? You're talking about some very objective as version of love. That's another story. Damn, that's so fire, bro. That inward is pure bliss. It's also ever present. Brother Panic called it feeding the baby its bottle. The mind is the baby. That's it. I was just talking about that. Feed the baby its fucking bottle, bro. And keep going. Keep going. Quit focusing on that. Feed the baby its fucking bottle. You don't make your whole life about feeding the baby the bottle. We could have been doing something else today, but we're here. Lets me know I love y'all, bro. Love you, bro. Straight up. It's all love. Tell you, man, the motherfucker love y'all, dog. Real talk. All material objects are just tools to use and pull what's already inside of you. That's it. When you look at money that way, I remember I had that breakthrough going through Travis Major's Elemental course. I broke down my whole experience on his YouTube channel. I had a fucked up relationship with money. I still had a fucked up relationship with money by the way that I viewed it. But when you start to view it as something that's only to get objects, to keep the, you know what I'm saying, to have a so-called certain type of experience in this thing we call life, aka a dream, aka a movie, aka a fucking game that's already been coded and scripted. Okay, I'm gonna get money. Money gonna come my way. No obstacles gonna apprehend me from getting or money coming to me. What the fuck? And not only that, I have experience of my life showing that. So just stay in the now, man. Just stay in the now. Y'all dropping jewelry today. SOP. Damn, attraction and aversion are both illusion. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of goes into what I just said too, huh? Charles Schwab trying to get me to come on over there and goddamn do some trading. Talk that sass, my nigga. Talk that sass.
Baphomet. Satan! Baphomet. Satan! Baphomet. Satan! You get this shit?
Facts, sir, impeccable. That's it. Them aha moments. Now here, nowhere, home of the aware. God damn. Motherfucker dropping gems. Hey, we doing this shit on a random Wednesday. What is the difference between inquiry and meditation? Very simple. Inquiry consists in retaining the mind in the self. Meditation consists in thinking that one's self is Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. So meditation consists of pondering that one's self is consciousness. Inquiry consists of putting the mind itself within Brahman, the self. There's a difference. There's a difference. What is liberation? Inquiring into the nature of one's self that is in bondage and realizing one true nature is liberation. That's liberation. You are not bound. You've never been bound. You are liberation itself. What liberation? We're going 3 hours in. Oh, that's it, y'all. That's it. That's it. That's it. We read the whole book of Who am I? We read the whole book, gang. Hold up. We read the whole book, gang. Who am I? So that was to give more background for when I be saying like, ask who is that I? Right? That's Sri Ramana Maharshi. Who is that I? Sir Impeccable said, I ain't gonna lie. I wish we was living next door to each other. All this I want to hear. I don't like even going around people for real if they ain't talking about this. And this is what that shit produces, bro. This is what this type of shit produce. Real shit. Top notch shit. Top notch whips, that's what I drive. 20-inch rim on my hands and tires. So, all those who tuned in on IG, appreciate you. All those who tuned in on TikTok, appreciate you. We just wrapped up Sri Ramana Maharshi's book, Self-Inquiry. This is real, what we just went through, this is real, true ego death. All that other shit, I don't know what the motherfucker talking about. That's the real ego death we just went into. Inquiring on who is that I. How y'all feel about that, y'all? How y'all feel about today's read? Mothra says, kick ass commentary, no way. You know what I'm saying? Nigga try to spice it up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, and then the soul does not exist ultimately, nigga try to spice it up. Not even try. I guess it's really just who the fuck I am. And I assume y'all like the way that a nigga do talk, so that kind of helps. You know what I'm saying? That's what helped with Brother Panic and Bobby Hemmett. Shit, Trav too. You know what I'm saying? All that good for the ego. Well, that's it, y'all. We done did 3 hours. I appreciate it all y'all done. Tree. Akash came through here all the way from India tapping in with me speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? This, I ain't even gotta say. So, Cosmic Puzzle Piece. Don Tree already said. Race 636. Hasaja. You know what I'm saying? Remix 40. Empress Divine. Who else? Chris Dixon. You know what I'm saying? Whoever else that showed up. Because everybody, obviously, all the viewers is not all in the chat. Everybody don't like to type. Some people just like to watch. So, Mothra, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that tapped in. Mad love to y'all, man. Mad love to y'all. Y'all already know how we ending this, right? No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. There are no obstacles. There are only opportunities for you to realize yourself. To realize the self. And as always, it's stand on principle. Stand on purpose. And that's our standard operating procedure to observe our thoughts. To observe who is this I that's having these thoughts. Who is this I that these thoughts are appearing to? Who is the I that's having the thoughts, and who are these thoughts appearing to? Observe this body. Observe this mind. Observe your one-sided ass opinion. Alright? Peace, love, and motherfucking hair grease, y'all.